Okay, welcome back everyone to another one of whatever this is. I am Jeff Moore, and this is a channel dedicated to chainsaw carving, chainsaw carvers, and the mentality that goes with it, and all things in between. So, I do teach. I have taught for 7 or 8 years, and I've taught some really good carvers, and I've taught a lot of up-and-comers. So my opinion here is strictly my opinion. This is not a poo-poo channel, but I do occasionally throw critiques in, and they aren't meant to bring down. They're only meant to elevate. So without further ado, let's do Ryan Cook. I think it's a big, like 10-foot or 8-foot bear or something that he carved not too long ago. And like I said, Ryan's a friend of mine, and I'd like to keep that way. So like I said, whatever critique I have of this is from a professional standpoint and from my experience standpoint. So hopefully, we'll get through this. It'll be enjoyable for everyone, and maybe we'll learn something along the way. All right, so let's get this thing rolling. All right. Looks chilly out. Looks like it's time to go pick up a log. I've done this many times. Oh no. I've done that many times as well. Looks like a brand new saw. Beautiful log. What does something like that cost, by the way? Like if you were to go buy that, I'm sure he has to buy it, but I wonder how much it costs. Because we don't have that kind of wood around here. The other thing too is I noticed guys carving really sketchy looking. I think that's a red cedar, but they just carve some sketchy looking stuff. Lots of holes. Red rot in it. Like, is it the same as white pine, or when it comes to that, or is it less problematic? In other words, when it starts rotting, does it just take way longer than it would, say, a pine or other types of hardwood, or so? I don't know. I guess I've never carved it, but I just know that there's always a lot of the carvers that I've seen, even in competition, they'll get a problematic tree and they just carve it like nothing's. Is it because it's scarce, or I don't know? They just use what they have and just deal with it? I don't know. Because I guess when you're forced to carve a great big tree, and you don't really have a bunch of big trees, but the one you do have's got problems, what do? Do you just go ahead and carve it? Oh my gosh, Ryan. I thought I had problems with sawdust in my hair. Look at that guy's hair. That is, oh my gosh. It's like sheep wool. Look at that. He hasn't even started carving yet. Dang. Oh, leaving suburbia for the roughneck shop. Yep. It's quite the skid loader. Man. I wonder if that's his. If it's his, oh, I'm really jealous. I got like a 1975 case that does the job, but nothing fancy like that. All right, here's our bear rough out. Now, I'm going to stop right here. A lot of carvers, when they rough their bears out, there's a phenomenon that I've picked up over the years watching other people carve and being guilty of it myself, even occasionally to this day. I carve bears a lot, and I've carved a lot of crappy bears, and I've carved a few good ones. And the difference between those two is this process right here. We got to determine how big the bear head is going to be compared to the log. And sometimes you can screw it up, even if you draw the size and everything. There's something that gets lost in translation between how big the log that you're working on is and how big the bear is going to be inside that log. And I think most carvers, the vast majority of carvers, get it wrong just because they have a big log, so they start with a big head. And this is what this is kind of looking like. And also the distance from the top of the back of the head to the shoulder blade here is telling. It might be inexperience here, or it might just be just winging it. Sometimes I'll do it and I'll pay the price, but let's see what Ryan has in store. Gets the axe out. That's a Vlad move. Yeah, see, he's got it's a good looking snout on that thing for sure. Also, the body, the proportions are off. Even though, like on a big bear, I've seen awkward images of bears that were real that kind of looked like that. But when I carve, I'll stop this again. When I carve a bear, I'm looking for I'm not necessarily looking at images from a book or a magazine or whatever. I've carved enough of them over the years that I want to see a specific kind of bear, whether it be a black bear, brown bear, whatever. And I see it in my head. And the problem is, for me, it's not that big of a problem, but I still can run into issues where I'm like, okay, this doesn't look right. What step did I miss or whatever? But I've been doing it long enough where I could do that. If you haven't been doing it as long and you've carved a bunch of bears, but kind of the same way over and over, that's kind of what gets worked into your brain. So if you're not working with really close with resources, that's kind of always going to be the problem. It's problematic. So they're always going to end up what people call stylized or rustic, because they're just out of proportion. They got some of the particular notes right, and then they just kind of move it on through, and then as it drops down to the ground, it becomes more difficult to work in those spaces unless you have a lift. So everything becomes even more vague. The face and head is like boom, but then everything below that just starts to, I don't know, it starts to diminish in actual, in accuracy. And as far as the details concerned, it could be problematic too, because it's uncomfortable to be in those positions while you're carving. So the further down you go, especially as you get older, the less you want to be down there. So in that regard, I would have, I bought the lifts so that I can put a piece like this on a lift and just keep it always right here in the strike zone. It will increase your the quality of your carvings tenfold, and you're not spending any more time on them. Maybe a little bit more, but you're also taking all the pressure off your knees, your lower back, and the angles, because you can pick up a carving and get the feet right in front of your face, right where your sweet spot is. It's a no-brainer. All right, Ryan, let's see what you got. Making that critical back cut. See what I mean down there? It's kind of sketch. Cool. Did I see it? So here we go. This is where he's going to punch through. Get that negative space going where the paws are. Okay. You know, another one of the big issues is, I see, I won't even stop it, but arm placement. It's critical. Has he already got the gouge? What's he got going? Oh, little break. So now we're digging in on the detail. The other thing too is when you're doing a bear, one of the best ways, I'll stop this right here. One of the best ways to, and I still screw it up to this day. I mean, I am infallible. I'm not infallible. I'm infallible. Yeah. No, I'm not infallible. So you have the head. And, you know, I'm sure everyone's out there seen that guy draw the line right down the middle of the snout. And then you just kind of figure out, while it's still in the larger form, where the center's going to be, how far apart the ears are. And then you do that. You cut everything to keep it on the center line. The problem with that is if you start off too big, you draw your center line. Now your ears are, you know, you find out you carved it too big. Now you got to downsize everything. So as you're downsizing everything, your ears are still in the same place. And now it's starting to look goofy, right? Not saying that this is that, but that's one of the things I've learned is if you start off too big, the safest bet, and this is a trick that I've been doing for years, is if my head is too big to start with, I take off 1/4 inch off the tip of the nose, and then work my way back. And it's so weird. By the time you get down to the feet, the whole bear size is shrunk tremendously. Sometimes it requires more than 1/2 inch, or 1/4 inch or whatever. It could be 1/2 inch. But by the time you downsize everything, now everything's going to fit. It's just a weird thing. If you don't believe me, go out there and try it. Just make sure everything is accurate as far as that line in the center, the spacing between each ear, because I think I've seen on this piece, would be the left side is further out than the right side, so it's kind of off that way. Yeah. He's going to town, getting roughing in the fur. Fur is it'll make or break a piece, because what I do is I'll take, there you can see it a little bit there where he's putting that shim. There's way more on that left side than there is on the right side. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And also you got to look at paw size, and you know, this is a cool piece, and the head looks pretty freaking good too, you know. No. The style that Ryan implements is what I was talking about. A lot of carvers kind of do this. Ryan's style, it reminds me of sort of a rustic native / Pete Ryan style. Like he's influenced by a lot. He's obviously influenced by Bob King and a bunch of other carvers, Chris Foltz, and they all have a certain way they do things, and they make no excuses about the style, right? Or the, you know, just going to town with a gouge to get through the piece fast. I know I see Bob King do that quite a bit, like with his birds and with his bears and wolves. I mean, it's pretty much this wedge shaped thing, and then it's just a peel back with and that's he gets shit done fast. And this is no exception. This is kind of that. It's his, from my perspective. I don't know what his is, but from my perspective, that's what this looks like. And he gets the airbrush out to tighten things up, puts that line in the middle, or, you know, the shadow and the depth. But yeah, I just think, you know, once it's finished, it's going to have some wow factor. Let's just put it that way. Are there things wrong with it? Yeah, and I've actually pointed a few things out, but not in a way that, see, that's just really cool with that big heavy head, the big bear kind of leaning over. I think that's what most people are going to remember, and because it's right in your face, it's right at your face level. And from that perspective, it's freaking cool as hell. But they're, you know, I mean, look at the shop, dude. Nothing sticks around long in Ryan Cook's shop, I can tell you that. He gets them done, gets them out. So there's the legs, there's the feet. See what I'm saying is, like, once you get down to the bottom, there is no definition towards the outside of the fur. It's just kind of a straight edge. When I carve my bears, I always do the Christmas tree thing kind of thing. So it looks like it's ragged all the way around. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot there. It looks like there was some issues with the wood as well. It's a handsome feller. It's a good video. I mean, it's good production. Sweet. Yeah, so I mean, it looks great as far as the head's concerned. It's got some cool color features, things like that. Great spot, great place to carve. I wouldn't mind checking that out someday. Well, everybody, that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed this reaction video, and I will see you on the next one.